watch friends, Happy New Year. Another year has passed and a new one is upon us, which means it's time for watch predictions this year. In this video, we're going to take on Panerai, a brand we've worked with here at Oliver Smith for over 20 years now. We're going to give you some of our insider insight to what we think is coming in 2023.
So, if you recall, last time we did this, we knocked it out of the park.
You're being generous. You knocked it out of the park. When we were predicting watches for 2022, George got a big one correct.
Yeah, the 44mm white submersible, which also turned out to be by far the best-selling watch we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going into the next year, and I still have not been able to keep one of those in the case.
Yep.
A day, maybe two, and it's gone. So runaway success on Panerai's.
And we did a whole video on that, so we'll make sure to put that up too. So that was great.
Yep.
So now we're going into this 2023, and genuinely, we don't know what's coming. Sometimes I get like a little bit of a hint from Panerai or hear something, but I'm genuinely sitting down now, and I don't know what's coming. So these are sort of, I'm going to go with more like guesses. Some are realistic, some are not. And George said he's going for what he wants. Yeah, hopes.
Yeah, this year as well, I have had no little birds whispering in my ear.
No, me neither.
I have no real hard line on it. So I am going to talk about things that I hope Panerai does.
All right, so why don't you start us off with your first hope? Or should we start with discontinued, actually? We said we were going to do that first.
Yeah, we can start with discontinued.
Okay,
all right.
So 2022, usually we see, I think over the last couple of years, some like big discontinued lines from Panerai. So like a 40mm Luminor gone, relaunched. 44mm Submersible gone, relaunched. There wasn't anything super big this year that they're like, we're going to take this away and relaunch. So that makes our job a little harder. But George touched on the radio mirror.
Well, because I do think Panerai's done a really good job lately of moving forward, looking forward. This year seems to be a year that they're kind of focused on radio mirror. You did that great video on...
In 2022 was the year?
Yeah. You did a great video on that new launch with the two different colorways.
Right,
and that
cool.
absolutely awesome antique steel that they're doing. This is also the year that they're putting out the radio mirror bronze.
Right, which is like very special edition. You have to be at a certain event, invited to an event where they give it out. So it's really hard to get.
Have not been hands-on with it, have not been in the same room with one yet, but that's something I'm really looking forward to. So what I'm hoping to see is a combining of two very successful lines, and will we see an antique steel white dialed radio mirror this year? Okay,
cool. Yes, I know we like the white. I actually don't think we're going to see anything that innovative with radio mirror.
That would be a big, bold step.
Yeah, I think because Panerai, maybe it was a year or two ago, came out and said radio mirror is going to be more of like our classic historic line. So it doesn't surprise me they came out with that vintage steel.
Yeah.
I think they're going to keep it more classic. And I don't know if they're really, we'll see anything. Maybe one or two quiet releases, but that's my take.
You're probably right.
But it would be fun. You're right. Let's jump in. Okay, so one thing I wanted to touch on were complications. We saw a Moonphase watch from Panerai in the Due collection in the 38mm. This is sort of an easy one. I think we're going to see that go further in a 42mm, maybe a larger size.
And great success with that as well. I wasn't sure. I seem to recall telling them it was like the least Panerai I'd ever seen, and I absolutely love it.
I think he did say
and it's been really, really good. I do think there's a core group of people that have been waiting for a Panerai in this size with something a little bit more to offer. So something a little different, stepping out of the box a little bit. So bravo there.
Okay, so to build upon that and complications, we also saw a Perpetual Calendar sort of quietly leaked over the last year or two, but they have that complication. I want to see them go bigger into it. I want more releases. I want it in gold tech or, a higher metal, and to really just have this like big release like that.
Well, and I think this might be low-hanging fruit, but they're definitely going to be moving forward with the successes of E-Steel.
Yes.
I'd like to see that proliferate into more core product. It's great that they did that. Those were just really special submersibles in it, because I still love those watches. They're absolutely fantastic. But to see more core product with that material, I think is where they're ultimately heading.
I think you're right. I think we're going to see it in the 1312. So more of the classic everyday Panerais that we love. Maybe even not with like the E-Steel advertised on it. It's just going to be like, we're doing recycled steel. That's who we are.
Even with the newer logo, they removed the off-color E to kind of blend it into the dial a little bit more. So I think they are paying attention to that.
That was a big release of 2022,
yeah.
So what about colors? Because we saw the colored bezels on submersibles this year in blue, green, and gray. I was thinking about it. I don't think they're going to go away, like go any other color direction outside of those three.
What I've been seeing out there, and what I'm thinking, and I'm going to go ahead and say, we started it with the Oliver Smith colorway in our particular Pantone. It wouldn't surprise me to see some sort of rust or brown color. I suspect over the course of, maybe not this year, it might be a little too soon, maybe the following year, I think that color might kind of sneak in as the new hit color.
Sort of with that vintage patina steel that we like too.
And I think it's, particularly for Panerai, it would really, really work. So we'll see on that, but that's just something I think I'd like to see.
And I think we're going to keep seeing these alternative metals. I brought the BMG-Tech out because this was such a hot release when it came out a couple of years ago. Bulk metallic glass. It's glass mixed with titanium and some other alloys. Super popular. I want to see this in a 44 millimeter, maybe even a Luminor.
That would be killer.
Right?
Because you really haven't blown up with BMG like they should. No, I think you're right. That would be really interesting. I would, even on a simpler note, that same antique steel, I'd like to see that done into an E-Steel or something along those lines. Just get a little different texture to it.
Everything E-Steel, And then we still have the partnerships continuing, especially with the U.S. Navy SEALs and Luna Rossa. The Luna Rossa base model, that white dial manual line, was such a hit as well. I think we'll see more there.
Absolutely.
It's going to be an exciting year, of course.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to getting back there and seeing what they have to show us.
Yeah, so make sure to like and subscribe. We're going to be heading to Watches and Wonders in Geneva in March to see all the new releases in person. So we'll get that content up as quickly as possible. Leave us a comment. What do you want to see from Panerai this year? What are you excited about? Let us know. Thanks for watching.